The coronavirus is the hottest topic these days about China, so we're going to talk about it today. The coronavirus is a very big topic. There are too many things to talk about, so one video is not going to be enough. I'm currently planning to make 3 videos. This is the first of them, the pre-quarantine. 1st of December 2019, the first confirmed case of the novel coronavirus appeared in Wuhan. Of course, the confirmation of the case took place after we have identified the new virus. At the time, the patient was treated by doctors in Wuhan as a SARS infection, which is a virus that raged in China 17 years ago. 12 December 2019. The first coronavirus patient who has been to the seafood market in Wuhan was confirmed. This Huanan seafood market is extremely important in the outbreak of the coronavirus because in the beginning, most of the patients have some sort of interaction with this market, so people generally believe it is the source of the virus. 26 December 2019. Dr. Zhang Jixian, who is the officially recognized person who discovered the epidemic. She is the director of the Department of Respiratory and Severe Medicine of Hubei Integrated Traditional Chinese and Western Medicine Hospital. She has got 4 SARS-like consecutive pneumonia patients on the same day. She firmly believes something is not right. She formally reported the pneumonia cases to her hospital on the 27th, and a group consultation was carried out on the 29th by doctors from 10 different departments from her hospital. The decision made in the consultation was to report to the local health and safety committee, which is pretty much the equivalency of district CDC in America. 30th December 2019. 8 doctors discussed a diagnosis report of pneumonia in 3 different WeChat groups: University of Wuhan Clinic Grade 04, Xiehe Red Cross Neurology, and Cancer Center. Dr. Li Wenliang, who was later referred to as the whistleblower of the epidemic, said 7 cases of SARS have been confirmed that from Wuhan Huanan seafood market. An hour later, he said that those patients were confirmed as unknown coronavirus infection. The analysis of the virus is ongoing. He reminds everyone in the group to not to leak the information and tell their family members to be careful. 31st December 2019. Wuhan Health and Safety Committee reported 27 cases of viral pneumonia of unknown causes to the public. This is the first official confirmation of the occurrence of viral pneumonia to the public. However, the statement said that no obvious human-to-human transmission was found, and no medical professional was infected. At the time, based on what was known and what was confirmed, the statement was true and fair. However, as we know, it is wrong. On the same day, Dr. Li Wenliang was warned and scolded by his hospital management and Health and Safety Committee for privately releasing inaccurate information to the public. Besides, the National Health and Safety Department has sent a delegation of experts to Wuhan. The leader of the delegation, Wang Guanfa, arrived to Wuhan on the same day. 1st of January 2020. Wuhan Police Department released a statement saying that 8 rumormongers were interviewed for sharing inaccurate information. These 8 people were obviously the 8 doctors in the WeChat group, including the whistleblower of the epidemic, Li Wenliang. On the same day as the number of the pneumonia patients was increasing, the director of the emergency department in Wuhan Central Hospital, Dr. Ai Fen, reminded the hospital to pay extra attention and take measures to prevent the disease. Later at midnight, she was told to go to the Department of Management the next day. Also on the same day, the seafood market was closed by authorities. 2nd of January 2020. Dr. Ivan went to hospital management and was criticized for being unprofessional because her complaint has caused public panic. Dr. Ivan insisted that the pneumonia is probably contagious. However, Wuhan Central Hospital management did not respond to her concern. Ivan was upset since there was no support provided by the management. She decided to do something herself by asking everyone under her supervision to wear N95 face masks. This move later obviously was proven very effective. While the other hospital had numerous staff members got infected by the virus, there were very few staff members got infected in Wuhan Central Hospital. January 7th, 2020. The novel coronavirus was successfully isolated by Chinese scientists. 3 days later, RNA sequencing was completed. This basically means we can identify the virus, and obviously you need to know your enemy before you can beat your enemy. January 11, 2020. The leader of the delegation of experts sent by National Health and Safety Committee was interviewed by news reporters. He said the epidemic and the condition of most patients are under control. January 12, 2020. The whole genome sequence was shared with WHO, and the virus was named as 2019 novel coronavirus. Anyone in the world can download the sequence and analyze it. A company in Jiangsu has announced that they have invented a quick test kit of the novel coronavirus. In the next 9 days, 17 different quick test kits have been invented by different companies in China and started to be manufactured. To those who do not know what this means, it took Chinese scientists 13 days from realize the spread of unknown virus to develop a reliable preliminary way to test whether a person has the virus or not in less than 8 minutes. January 19, 2020. National Health and Safety Committee has sent a delegation of senior experts to Wuhan. The great Zhou Nanshan, the man led China beat SARS 17 years ago, was assigned as the leader of the group. January 20, 2020. Zhou Nanshan confirmed that the virus is human-to-human transmittable, and there are medical professionals have been infected. January 22, 2020. Hubei province started Level 2 emergency response to public health emergencies. 300,000 people left Wuhan on this day. January 23, 2020. 10 a.m. Wuhan is under quarantine. Where did the virus start? Generally, people in China, including the government, believe the virus came from Huanan seafood market. However, according to the first authoritative report, the clinic feature of patients infected with 2019 novel coronavirus in Wuhan, China, was published on British authoritative medical journal The Lancet on the 24th of January 2020. Let me stop here. Just answer to those people believe Chinese do not know anything and the truth was only known by people outside of China. I must point out that the report was written by a group of Chinese medical professionals who are living and working in China, and they are members of Chinese CDC. The report studies the first 41 patients and pointed out that 13 of them had nothing to do with the market. Cao Bing, one of the authors of the Lancet paper and the director of the Respiratory and the Critical Care Department of the Sino-Japanese Friendship Hospital, responded, "It now appears that the seafood market is obviously not the only source of the virus. However, to be honest, we still don't know where the virus came from." They analyzed and calculated 27 sequences and believed that the virus evolved into what it is now, which happened on about October 1st. Based on the 41 cases, most of the cases have found the seafood market as a common ground, while a few cases have nothing to do with it. So it is certain that the seafood market is a distribution center, but it is not necessarily the first stop for viruses from wild animals to human society. Wuhan Virus Institute. A piece of news reported on CCTV on the 5th of April 2018 was dug out. The news clearly pointed out that a new type of coronavirus was discovered by scientists from Wuhan Virus Institute. In 2017, in Guangdong, which is a southern Chinese province, a large number of pigs was dead for unknown causes. One of the main symptoms was severe diarrhea. Scientists studied the disease and found out a new type of coronavirus, which was believed originated from bats. The result of the study was published in the British scientific journal Nature. Okay, let's take a look. A new type of coronavirus in Wuhan originated from bats. People started to believe that this must be the same virus raging in China right now. It must somehow got leaked from the lab and spread to the public. While people are speculating, Weibo has set off the bomb. On the 17th of January, Weike Tieji 5 posted a Weibo claim that she is Chen Quanjiao, a researcher at Wuhan Virus Institute. She said Wang Yanyi, director of Wuhan P4 Virus Institute, is the one leaked the virus. She claimed that Wang Yanyi had no medical knowledge, and her research was done by people who working for her. She has been selling the lab animals to vendors in Wuhan seafood market. She is responsible for the outbreak. On the same day, the real Chen Quanjiao posted a Weibo with her own account, stating that the account is not hers and she did not post the Weibo. This Weibo incident has caused more people to believe the conspiracy. Especially, it is very easy to find photos of Wang Yanyi, the accused person, the director of Wuhan P4 Virus Institute, online, and everyone was shocked because she looks like this. Although it is very wrong to judge a book by its cover, but people seem to believe the Weibo is telling the truth, since she's incredibly young and pretty. To be honest, generally people believe the director of a lab should be at least someone old, not to mention that this is a P4 lab we're talking about here. To those who don't know what a P4 lab means, P4 is the highest level of labs. There are only 9 P4 labs in the world. To give you an idea how difficult it is to build a P4 lab, Japan built their first P4 lab in 1981, but it was running as a P3 lab for 35 years and finally got approved as a P4 lab in 2016. What P4 labs do? They study Ebola, smallpox, and stuff that's brought back from the outer space. Basically, anything that's extremely dangerous. If you go visit the core of Wuhan P4 Virus Institute, there are in total of 10 doors you need to go through, and you must close the last door, complete whatever the process you have to do, then be allowed to open the next door. And you have to do all this 10 times. It will take the most experienced experts 20 minutes to go through all 10 doors. Now, a lab of this level doing research at that level, and the director of the lab is a young and beautiful lady like her. No wonder people have doubts. But there are other argues that Weibo looks way too personal. Doesn't look like it is written by a scientist in a critical moment like right now. Also, it is ridiculous that the director of the lab of that level is selling lab animals to a seafood market. Does the lab look like they need that money? The experts from Chinese Academy of Science have refuted the rumor, saying that the coronavirus discovered by Wuhan in 2018 was SARS virus. It is not the same type of virus. The Chinese lab produced the virus. Conspiracy theorists are generally very creative. Since it is not the same virus which was discovered in 2018, they believe that the virus was produced by a Chinese lab. A report was published by professionals from National University of Singapore on the Lancet on the 11th of February. A few days later, a piece of news based on the report was published by Sydney Morning Herald, stating that the coronavirus was made in China. The article quotes one sentence from the paper: "The genome sequence, crucial for rapid development of diagnostic needed in an outbreak response, was not released until January the 12th, 17 days after the preliminary sequence data was obtained." I never doubt that a political and international editor understand virus and science more than those medical professionals from university. But I do think it is shocking that an editor of the most important national newspaper in Australia having problem to read English. English is my third language, but I do believe the paper is discussing whether the Koch's postulates still relevant today, because it is black and white written on the paper. The paper basically suggested that this postulate, which currently in effect everywhere in the world, maybe it is a little out of date and it is slowing us down. The paper suggested if the Chinese team did not waste time on isolation of etiological agents, things could move a little faster. Well, obviously, after little political and international processing, the conclusion is the virus is made in China and Chinese is hiding it. Let's look at the most recent updates. According to a new paper published on The Lancet, 27 experts from 8 different countries have analyzed the virus and believe the virus was unlikely to be produced in a lab. They strongly condemned conspiracy theories that the novel coronavirus disease was not of natural origin. Those rumors are now specifically targeting Chinese and health professionals who have been working extremely hard to fight this outbreak and have shared data with unprecedented speed, openness, and transparency. What happened to those doctors? Dr. Zhang Jixian, she was recognized as the first doctor discovered the epidemic. She is still working in Hubei Province Hospital of Integrated Traditional Chinese and Western Medicine. She is still on the front line fighting coronavirus. She is a member of the Communist Party. Therefore, on the 2nd of February, she was awarded by the Communist Party for great achievements, which is the second highest reward for party members. Dr. Li Wenliang, after sharing the diagnosis report of SARS-like pneumonia in 3 WeChat groups and remind all medical professionals in the group to be careful because it is a coronavirus infection. The screenshot of what was said was widely shared to the public. It is not a surprise to me because there are hundreds of medical professionals in those groups. They shared it to their friends and family members, and then share it with other friends and family. Even someone I know personally was shared with the screenshot. So I think there must be a large number of people got the screenshot too. Dr. Li was then interviewed by the police on the 3rd of January and issued a warning notice for providing inaccurate information to the public. He was upset, but he returned to work after that. However, on the 8th of January, Dr. Li contracted the coronavirus when he saw infected patients at his hospital. The patient developed a fever the next day, and he developed a cough on the 10th of January and a fever on the 11th. He was admitted to the hospital on the 12th. On the 1st of February, he was confirmed of novel coronavirus infection. He wrote his last Weibo on the same day, stating that, "Today, the nucleic acid test result is positive. The dust settles, finally confirmed." His condition turned critical 6 days later. He was sent to the emergency room around 7 p.m. and his heartbeat stopped at around 9:30. There were 17 million people heard the news and watching the live status updates for hours while the doctor tried everything to rescue him. But unfortunately, the hospital announced his death at 2:85 a.m. on the 7th of February 2020. Dr. Li had a wife and 1 child. His wife is pregnant with their 2nd child when he died. His parents was also infected with coronavirus and still in hospital. Dr. Ai Fen. Dr. Ai is the director of the emergency department in Wuhan Central Hospital. After her great decision to ask everyone under her supervision to wear N95 face masks, her emergency team and herself has been safe. She is currently leading a team of 200 doctors and is still fighting on the front line.
Guys, this is basically what happened before the quarantine. If you have been following news about China, you will know that a lot of things I said is reflecting biased opinion, false information, and myth about the outbreak of coronavirus in China. I did the best I can to provide you with as much information as I can. Just like the government and the social system in China, I know there's much room to improve. I'm only starting to make YouTube videos and all I have is about 3 hours a day and myself. It took me about 3 weeks to make this video. And as I'm doing this, the coronavirus is now reaching every continent in the world. In China, the virus is gradually under control after everyone in the country worked together and fought the virus hard for over 2 months. I hope everyone in the world now can work together and fight this little monster. We can win, and we will win.